Will you pray for me? Lord, may the words of my lips and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, because you are our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. 20 is a good number. It's the atomic number for calcium. There are 20 amino acids encoded by the standard genetic code. There are 20 divisions on a standard dartboard. 20 is the retired jersey number for Luis Gonzalez, Frank Robinson, and Barry Sanders. The Kentucky Derby has a maximum field of 20 horses. If you look at something 20 feet away and can see it normally, you have perfect vision. If you have it in both eyes, it's 20/20. It's the number you'll need to dial first if you want to call someone in Egypt. It was the minimum age that a Levite had to be to serve in the temple once upon a time, and it takes a minimum of 20 half or quarter turns to solve a Rubik's Cube. It's a good number. These things happened 20 years ago. The European community, a forerunner of the EU, was formed. Arafat and Rabin shook hands in Washington. Václav Havel became president of the Czech Republic, and Bill Clinton became president of the United States. The Buffalo Bills became the first team to lose 3 consecutive Super Bowls. The World Trade Center was bombed. The Branch Davidians were burned out of their home in Waco. The blizzard of '93 happened. And NAFTA was signed. It was not a great year. But 20's a good number. 20 years before today's story, Jacob has come and fallen in love with Laban's daughter, Rachel. And Laban had told him that he could have Rachel if he worked for him for 7 years as a shepherd. And he did that. And on their wedding night, he pulled a switcheroo and sent Rachel's sister Leah into the tent at the last minute. And Jacob found he had married the wrong sister. And so he had to work 7 more years to get the one he wanted. And then he needed to build a living for himself after that. So he worked a bunch more years until he was the wealthiest one around, wealthier even than Laban, and said, "It's time for me to go." And then he said, "What you heard today." Jesus goes to the temple in Jerusalem with his parents when he's 12, and then we hear nothing about the man until some 20 years later when he emerges all ready for his ministry. The ministry that would get him killed. And in both Jacob's case and Jesus's case, the implication is this, that God has been with them, has been working hard through them and in them for those 20 years, bringing great plans to fruition, accomplishing much, moving God's will and God's plan and God's realm forward. 100 years ago, in 1993, a lot happened, but perhaps, the most important thing of all was that on May 9th, Doris Dorkof opened the Syracuse Herald-American, flipped past an ad for Switz's going out of business sale, and saw an ad that Plymouth Church was looking for a church administrator. Doris, would you come forward now? And Stan, would you come forward? She applied after she saw the ad. And they said yes. And this is what we said she ought to be doing with her time. Job description, administrative assistant. The administrative assistant is responsible for the smooth operation of the church office and for interfacing with the public in a manner that best reflects the mission of Plymouth Congregational Church. The incumbent is expected to support the activities and intentions of the staff, the officers, and the board of the church, as well as to oversee the use and maintenance of the church building. The specific tasks of the administrative assistant include, but are not limited to, the following: answer telephone and door, take messages, answer questions, refer problems to the appropriate person, screen calls, screen deliveries, act as an integral member of the staff, order office and maintenance supplies, maintain the church calendar, coordinate the use of volunteers, coordinate the use of space, supervise the custodian, oversee regular maintenance of the entire building and office equipment, obtain needed repairs, oversee the food closet, attend all meetings with community agencies, obtain foodstuffs, find shoppers, initiate food drives within the church, screen referrals, hand out food, maintain adequate and accurate financial records, coordinate public relations for the church, edit the Plymouth Story. This goes on for 3 pages. And I want to tell you, there is no one in the world who could have done that job, but Doris came closer than anyone ever could have. Doris, for lo, these 20 years you have filed us, accounted us, input us, reported us, mailed us, bulletined us, telephone answered us, buzzed us in, told us to buzz off, but only when we deserved it, balanced us, checked on us, informed us, prayed for us, and loved us. Like a nervous system that, though invisible, keeps a body in touch with the world around it and moving through it, you have done the same for Plymouth Church. If I have counted correctly, Doris Dorkof, over these 20 years, has worked with 15 different pastors, which just proves that ministers come and go, but God and Doris Dorkof remain constant. Well done, and thank you. Please be seated. We have a couple of gifts we want to present. First, our moderator, Stan Ayers.
Doris, the people of Plymouth have put together a collection of funds that represent a collection of our heartfelt thanks for your 20 years of service to and care for this congregation and its work here in Syracuse. So I'd like to present you with this check for the amount of $1,650 collected from the people of Plymouth. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And I want you to know we did it all in secret. You had no idea, did you? Nobody knows this building and its closets and its nooks and crannies as well as you do, so I was surprised when you and Elaine Wolfe unearthed in the bowels of some closet a framed line drawing of the church that none of us had ever seen before. We don't know the story of it, who did it, where it came from, or why we have it, but it's gorgeous, and so we thought it would be the perfect thing to give to you. It says here on this plaque, presented to Doris Dorkof in gratitude for 20 years of faithful ministry at Plymouth Congregational Church, presented June 2013. Doris, we love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Quinn.
I can hold this. Did you want to say something?
Thank you to all of you for whatever might have been accomplished in the past 20 years and for what we might be able to do in the future. To God alone belongs the glory. It is with God's help that we serve each day. Thank you, Quinn. Thank you to all of you. May God bless all of you for your love on this day and for your kindness every day. And may God bless Plymouth always.
Amen.